This is too funny to me. Can you imagine Mexico actually doing some big deportation of Americans? They are deporting Americans. Now, let me just say this. I saw a video a while back where this Mexican was saying that sometimes some of them be laughing at America because cost of living is so cheap. Like, no matter what their income is, they're living a good life. They got money, nice houses, nice home, because cost of living is so cheap, right? And of course I looked at it, keep on moving, because I ain't doing that kidnapping stuff. But neither here or there. Evidently some how can I say it, some white people is over there causing trouble. Now I thought, right, for y'all who saw the videos, that they were travelers, they were tourist people over there on vacation. No, y'all, these are people that have moved to Mexico, living in Mexico because cost of living is cheap and they could afford to live in Mexico. And they even said that some of them is over there, they working from home. In other words, they have like American jobs, but they're living over there, right? Because they're working from home. But neither here or there, they over there living off that cheap cost of living because they could afford to do it. But they ain't got no papers. They are considered illegal immigrants. Yeah, you get where this is going at, right? So, yeah, they're deporting Americans from Mexico. Now, I do hope, Lord, I do hope they're not putting them in cages the way Americans do Mexicans and these other people when they want to capture them at the border. And I also wonder, quick question, are these the same people that come back to America during an election and vote against the Mexican? Now, my video is not about immigrants and should nobody vote against the Mexicans and blah, blah, blah. Because y'all know that's what it is. Hey, Mexico's this, that, and whatever, right? But yet y'all taking y'all little happy behind over there living off the Mexican land. And now they deport y'all because y'all want to treat Mexico like Miami. That's all I'm saying.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel once again. So guys, Maga people who are now planning to go to Mexico for vacation, things are really boiling up. Mexicans, they are really deporting back the Maga people because Maga people, they really voted for the Donald Trump, and Donald Trump being deported Maga people, things have changed for them because if they go for vacation for Mexico wearing the Maga hat, they will face very the tough time. So let's all watch this video and at the end, then I'll come back with more comment. Remember to give this video a thumbs up.
Y'all be going crazy in them comments. Crazy in these two hairs on my little head that won't grow. But let's say something. Let's bring it up. If Mexico were to ask for visas to enter the US, okay, so how the US does it, how would that work? I mean, you plan vacations, right? Americans go to Mexico, they go on vacation. Now let's say that you have to wait for your visa. You have to go through the process, you have to pay. But not everybody gets approved. Not every single person can get approved. So the vacations you want to be there in, or the fact that you want to live in Mexico, because let's be real, so many Americans live in Mexico, and what do? They work from home on their computers, and they get the American US dollars, and they live in Mexico. They live in Vallarta, Guadalajara, anywhere you want to think about it. So let's just think about it. I just think it's so funny how you guys will fight in these comments. It's like, man, the ones affected are you guys. You're the ones that are hurting. You guys must really be in pain of the idea that Mexico wouldn't let you just cross with a fucking ID. Let's get you guys some visas. Let's get it going. I vouch for that. You know what? I fucking vouch for that. Let's do it. Claudia, let's get that shit going because she's a bad bitch. I don't give a fuck what y'all say.
Mexican immigrations official just deported an American content creator who was a Trump supporter and ironically had this to say about illegal immigration after the presidential elections this year.
I don't know why Latinos are so scared of Donald Trump taking office. What's going to happen is he's going to secure the border and there's probably going to be less immigrants coming in, which is a good thing because that's how the country is supposed to be run. You're going to have to go through a legal process.
So this content creator entered Mexico through a tourist visa, overstayed, and was recently deported by Mexican officials because she doesn't have lawful status. Ironically, she's a Trump supporter living in Mexico. Wild. You guys say that you guys need to do it the right way. We need to do it the right way when we try to go up there to migrate for a better life. But you guys don't need to do it the right way when you guys come down here to live and take advantage of the lower cost of living, among many other things, right? That's what I took away from this video. This is no hate to this content creator, but I was kind of shocked to scroll down some of her videos. Initially, I just kind of wanted to understand the process. Like, damn, that's crazy to see the reverse Uno. But honestly, this is something that a lot of Mexicans have been waiting for Mexican officials to start deporting the Americans, Canadians, and foreigners. But a large part of them are Americans that come down here to take advantage of the lower cost of living and to stretch their dollars a little bit further. But they do so by circumventing our immigration processes, because a tourist visa is for 6 months only to come and be a tourist. If you come down here on this tourist visa to live and you're working and making income and you're still living on this tourist visa, you are technically not doing it the right way. In her video, she mentioned she was in the process of obtaining dual citizenship, which is great. However, you still have not done it the right way. While you were in the process of getting citizenship or legalizing yourself, you are still technically in Mexico unlawfully, which is why you were just deported. So it's just kind of crazy to see a Trump supporter preach about how this is how it's supposed to happen. You guys should just do it the right way. But when you guys come down here to our country, you guys don't do it the right way either. Food for thought.
Y'all, I am getting deported from Mexico after living here for 4 years. Let's talk about it. And I know I look a mess. Stay focused. Welcome to another episode of Karina's Walk and Talk, where we do some walking and some talking around my beautiful neighborhood here in Mexico. But today, we are doing a sit and speak instead of a walk and talk. It's raining outside, and honestly, I feel like this topic deserves my full attention without me dodging any puddles. Ever since I started sharing my life in Mexico, people have been calling me a gentrifier or telling me I need to go back to my country. Normally, I let those comments roll off my back. But ever since Trump's inauguration on Monday and President Claudia Sheinbaum's recent statement about deporting Americans in response to U.S. immigration policies led by the Orange Clown, the comments have been coming in hot. And to be honest, I couldn't care less about the comments, but I do feel like it's important that I address all of the stuff that has been taking place. So if you didn't know, Claudia is Mexico's first woman president. She's been out here matching Trump's energy to a T. And I feel like she's been also talking to him the way he deserves. Honestly, it's refreshing to see a leader who's willing to get in the trenches for her people, because I feel like we have not seen that in decades when it comes to Mexico. Let's start with the facts, because you know I love some good facts before I get into my opinion. Last week, after Trump's years of ranting about illegal immigrants stealing black jobs, they were eating the animals. And it's funny that some people want to believe this just started. This started way before his first term as president, okay? This is not a new day. This is not a new Trump. So basically, Claudia responded and said, cool, if you're deporting our people, we'll deport yours too. Now, nothing is official yet, but people keep asking how I feel as a legal resident card-holding immigrant possibly facing deportation. And here's Karina's truth. Claudia is just reciprocating energy. She was really trying to kumbaya with Trump, and he basically hit her with a no thanks. We're going to keep doing what we've been doing. And by the way, we'd like to get the Gulf of America. We're going to buy that up off you, sweetheart. And here we are. I love my life here in Mexico. But would I be devastated if I got deported? No. And here's why I wouldn't be upset at all. The circumstances for Americans being deported from Mexico are not the same as Mexicans being deported from the U.S. Most Americans here, including myself, we came by choice. Some of us moved here for a lower cost of living, remote work opportunities, or just a slower, more peaceful lifestyle. No matter our reasons for moving to Mexico, most of our income for immigrants or expats still come from the U.S. So we do have options. The stakes are so much higher for the people being deported from the U.S. Now, do I think the president of Mexico is going to start deporting legal residents like me first? No, I don't think that. But if it gets to that point, I completely understand. I said this earlier, she's standing up for her people in a way we haven't seen someone stand up for Mexico in decades. And if I have to pack up and go because she's refusing to let Trump continue his nonsense, then so be it. I'm not afraid, I'm not angry, I'm not sad. I'm none of these emotions people want me to be. Now let me say this. If y'all catch me getting married to my child's father to stay in Mexico, just know I changed my mind and I realized I'm not leaving Mexico and I had to find a way to stay. But here's the thing. When I see comments telling me to go back to my country, it's not a dig to me. I've lived in 4 different countries and I can adapt. I will adapt. So at the end of the day, I've made peace with whatever comes next. I'm gonna be all right regardless. All right, so that's it for today's sit and speak or walk and talk. I know it was a lot of information, but I just wanted to address the deportation things and let people know I'm good. I'm all right. Y'all make sure y'all stay dry out there. I know some places in the world, they had snow. We having rain. And I'll see you on the next episode of Karina's Walk and Talk. Now, maybe it won't be from Mexico anymore, and that's all right. Just know I'll still be sharing my journey with y'all and living my best life no matter where I am in the world. Take care. Cuídate.
I really didn't want to say this, but you forced me to. Do you think Mexico can exist without white people's money? I mean, I've been to Cabo multiple times. Like they're down on the beach trying to, panhandle jewelry all day long. And like, oh, we'll take 5, we'll take 2, we'll take 3, we'll take 1. I'm sorry. They need our money down there. If we just snapped our fingers and every white person disappeared from Mexico and all of our fucking money was gone, they'd be back to all dirt floors. Let's be honest here. Let's be real honest.
White U.S. citizens is actually the largest group of immigrants in Mexico. And actually, a lot of them are visa overstays, so they're actually undocumented. So white people moving to Mexico has raised the price of home this year alone by 16% in the capital, and other years it's gone up 64%. I swear, everywhere white people go, they feel so entitled. They're walking around not even acknowledging the locals, raising the local prices for everything, pushing out the locals, and then overstaying their visa so they're undocumented. But when we do that, it's a real problem. And of course, they call themselves expat because immigrant is too beneath them. This is one of those things where it's like, what's fancy when you're white, but trashy when you're a person of color, immigrating for a better life. These people, if you're not going to respect where you're at, go back to where you came from.
So much misinformation out there. No, you don't need a visa to come to Mexico as a U.S. citizen. It's the same process as it's always been. You simply need your passport. When you fly across, it's automatically included in your ticket. You'll get what's called an FMM. When you land, you'll go through immigration, they'll stamp your passport, and you've got your FMM inside of your passport. If you're driving across, you need to park, go inside immigration, and fill out the form, pay the fee, usually around $25, $30 US. They'll stamp your passport. And you're good for up to 180 days. It's at their discretion. And a lot of people that don't live in Mexico full-time just come to Mexico for a few months out of the year, come down on that FMM, that same 180-day form, back and forth. They don't do anything else. However, I will say from personal experience, the Mexican government has definitely ramped up their immigration checkpoints, and I went through one a couple weeks ago. In all of my years of traveling throughout Mexico, throughout Baja, I've never gone through one of these checkpoints, so something to be aware of. In my case, they asked to see our passport or we have our residency card, so they just waved us on through. So something to be aware of.
¿En serio? Ven aquí, ven. ¿En serio? Ayúdame a entender. Eso no tiene sentido. Porque en México, no entiendo. ¿Por qué? Tu eres culo con caca. Tu eres culo con caca, asqueroso. Oh, estúpido. Okay. Wow. Eso no tiene sentido. Wow. Tu eres culo.
I was just sent this hilarious video of a U.S. citizen tourist in Mexico. I believe it was in Cabo San Lucas, where they had the ultimate F around and find out moment. And it's a bit of an older video from what I can tell, but it still checks out. Check this out.
I would like the American police right here, right now.
First of all, I don't know why he thinks that if he's in Mexico that the U.S. police would follow him to Mexico, because it doesn't work that way. But check out what he starts screaming as soon as he gets picked up by the police.
Go Canada! Go Canada, please, man! I'm serious! See ya! Go Canada! See ya, bro!
Ouch! That is not very patriotic of this guy. But I'm sure if he called Canada right now, It'd probably go straight to voicemail, or they'd probably give them a busy signal. So sorry you have to deal with that, Canada, because I know a lot of people from the US who act like that tend to pretend to be Canadian. So, but we know.
Mexicans deporting Americans is the funniest thing I've ever learned this year. So apparently Mexican authorities are deporting Americans who have colonized along the area of the beaches. Of course, in the nicer area of Mexico. So if you don't have the proper documentation, they're going to deport you back to United States. And you know, the most ironic thing is that these racist American people go live in different countries, like in Mexico, to live this luxury, beautiful, cheap life. And now they're getting deported. Yeah, the ones that say, go back to your country, go back to Mexico, go back to Guatemala, go back to Venezuela, go back to Cuba. Yeah, those are the ones living the luxury, beautiful life. Well, guess what? You're getting deported back to the United States. These people have exhausted the Mexican resources to live that beautiful lifestyle that they have over there in Mexico, that they cannot afford here in America. The table just turned. Pack it up, wrap it up, and...
The Mexican president is deporting Americans. Yes, you heard it. There's a lot of Americans who use their little social security check and get it direct deposited, and they pick it up in these border towns, or they'll move to Oaxaca, and they're retired out deep in Mexico. But now they are all undocumented. They need to be paying taxes in Mexico if they're going to be residents of Mexico, and Manuel López Obrador is going to tax them. And if they don't want to pay taxes and they don't want to pay their fines, they're going to be deported back to the USA. USA! This is a MAGA nightmare, and I love it.
Here's what Mexico is doing when you show up as MAGA supporters, and while other countries are likely to follow. I'm a global strategist working with boots on the ground. Political visibility abroad is not without consequences. Mexico is already putting MAGA travelers on blast. Now, if you're serious about relocation and you want real strategy, not political drama, join me at the final briefing on August 24th. Link in bio to register. Man, Mexico is cracking down on travelers who show up as MAGA. If they see MAGA tattoos, luggage, or American flags on luggage, or if they see you open up your phone to Fox News, immigration officers will pull you aside and actually detain you. These officers are watching, and if you stand out, you'll be pulled aside for real. They are singling these folks out. They are singling MAGA at the airport. And let me tell you something. They are charging an additional $40 tax per person just for being politically visible. And if you're traveling with a group, that adds up fast. And see, you're going to also miss your flight because of the immigration holds. No easy rebooking. Airlines have limited staff and strict rules. You will not get a boarding pass without proper clearance. This isn't just about fees. It's political targeting, and it's spreading. Other countries are watching and ready to do the same. If you want to relocate globally and you can't bring your political noise with you, you need respect, strategy, and a plan that keeps you moving. I don't invite MAGA rhetoric into my global community, so don't even try it. But if you want relocation tools and support, come at Move and go to the Global Move Tools. Register for the final briefing on August 24th. The link is in the bio. No drama, just facts, just strategy.
This protest happened on 4th of July in Mexico City, Mexico. Mexican locals protesting gentrification, or in my words, protesting colonization. And I love that they did this on 4th of July. And in the video, you can hear protesters saying, "Fuera gringo," which means get out. And gringo means someone who is from the United States. They are also chanting, "Mi casa no es su casa," which means my house is not your house. Gringos are moving to Mexico while holding a remote United States job. and they're enjoying the cheaper cost of living because obviously they're making money in dollars and spending it in pesos. These colonizers are spiking up the rent where locals are not able to afford housing. In the last 5 years, rent has spiked up by 47%. There was a protester that said that if they are going to live, the gringos, if they are going to live in this country, they need to contribute to this country. And that is so true, because here in the United States, immigrants pay taxes. They contribute to this country. They pay over $100 billion in taxes. The gringos in Mexico are not paying taxes. They make American dollars, US dollars, so they pay taxes to the US, not Mexico. Immigration policies in other countries for US citizens are lenient to non-existent. While here in the United States, as we speak, immigrants are being kidnapped off of the streets and into these concentration camps for profit. Gentrification is just a fancy word. Let's call it what it is. It's colonization. You want closed borders. You laugh and joke and celebrate, saying that you're going to feed the entire Hispanic Latino population here in the United States to alligators, but still come to our countries to colonize our countries. What is it that you say to my people in my community and all immigrants? Why don't you stay in your own country? Why don't you fight for your own country? You're not poor and can't afford rent, food in the USA because of immigrants. The United States isn't unaffordable because of immigrants, because that's why you moved to our countries, right? Because you can't afford to live in the United States. Immigrants are not the ones doing this to you. It's the greedy, rich people here in the United States. It's the greedy corporations. It's the greedy politicians doing this to you. It's the rich ruining this country. The rich here in the United States laugh at you. They think you're dumb. And that's why they lie in your face and laugh behind your back. They lie to you and tell you that it's the immigrant. That because of immigrants, you can't afford life in the United States. They lie to you and say it's because of the immigrant you can't afford food and housing. They laugh at you and lie to you, all the while lining their pockets. The Mexican local population is being illegally displaced so gringos can come and colonize Mexico. People who have lived in their neighborhoods and homes for 40, 50, 60 years being displaced so a gringo can come and colonize. Oh, and let's talk about the audacity US citizens have when they come over to our countries. You want closed borders, you're racist pieces of shit. You come to our country wearing your maggot hat. You don't want to hear our music. You want our restaurants to make the food more bland for you, because God forbid your food have seasoning. Oh, and get this one. US tourists went to Puerto Rico and started poisoning the Puerto Rican frog, el coqui, because they did not like the noise they made. I am proud of Mexican citizens protesting this colonization. This needs to stop, and other countries need to start protesting colonization as well. If you do not like immigrants and you're a racist piece of shit and want closed borders, then you should not have easy access to our beautiful countries.
Did you hear about that? Mexico is now deporting Americans out of Mexico. All you ones that want to go be happy the immigrants are being deported and then go visit Mexico or live in Mexico while you run your business here in America, them days are over. Y'all want to laugh at the immigrants for being deported? Are they laughing at you? Bye. Get out of Mexico. And the president of Mexico is welcoming all the immigrants back home. Please come home. We welcome you with loving arms, she said. Y'all gonna see the tides are gonna change. These immigrants are gonna stop being treated the way y'all treating them and laughing at them and locking them up, detaining them and beating them. them days are over. Mexico is fighting back, and they're going to deport you from their country. And I hope it's one of you Magas that are so happy they're getting deported. I hope it's one of you that get deported from Mexico. Bye.
You know, the irony that Mexican citizens in Mexico City are protesting American presence in their country. What in the uno reverso? Listen, that's what happens. Don't you think that the timing of it is just ironic? You know, America starts kicking all of the Mexicans out, and then Mexicans are like, no. We want you out of here too, because you're gentrifying our city. And I love that. I love that because, yeah, you want the benefit. Because believe it or not, a lot of Americans actually live in Mexico illegally. I know, it's crazy. Wow. And so, no, they want tougher legislation on it. And yeah, they're pissed. And I love that for them.
Mexican rioters are kicking Americans out of their country. Look at this. This is crazy. This is happening in Mexico City. They are destroying businesses. Look at this. Oh, there's the glass. And they're going in. Oh, man, look at all the people filming. This is crazy. They're telling them to leave the country. This guy is writing to a gringo. That's not good. Here they are trying to break into a restaurant. Starting to spray paint on it. Look at that. This guy's got a knife. That's terrifying, man. Ripping down the outdoor dining. There's so many people filming it, and there's zero police anywhere. What do you do? No police. What do you do? Now they're attacking some apartments, it looks like. Throwing rocks at them. It's just total anarchy.
I live in a town of 8,600 people. It's 98.1% white. Care to take a guess what our crime rate is?
Guarantee you say where you live, it's gonna go up. Oh, he's not done.
Do Asians see things that are far away better than we do because they're already squinting?
Keep it up, sir. I'm sure somebody's about to give you 2 black eyes and make you squint.
Look, I'm not saying ICE may or may not have made a couple oopsies, but everybody makes some oopsies. And I don't know why you're complaining about ICE making an oopsie and deporting somebody to another country, because you demand the right for when you make an oopsie, you can kill it. We're not killing anything.
Okay, so let me get this straight. White people are going down to Mexico for vacation and are complaining that the Mexican bands that play on the Mexican beaches are too loud. And the white people complain so much that the Mexicans that ran those Mexican hotels was trying to ban the Mexican bands from playing Mexican music on the Mexican beaches. So the Mexican president got involved and had to send the Mexican military to go down to the Mexican beach because there was too many Mexican protesters protesting against the white people who were trying to ban the Mexican bands. And so the Mexican military is singing alongside the Mexican protesters. Then y'all get mad when people call y'all mayonnaise warriors. Not only that, they have mayonnaise warriors who have moved down to Mexico that have caused a lot of the Mexican restaurants to stop making spicy food. So a lot of the Mexican restaurants are saying that they have to throw out tons and tons of food because white people are complaining so much about the food being spicy that they have to redo a lot of their orders. How about the white people in Mexico? Why don't you go back to your country? And y'all quick to say, it's not always about race. So what is this?
Hello guys, welcome back. I hope you have really just watched that full clip, how things are really boiling up for the Maga people, because Maga people, they really voted for the Donald Trump, and Donald Trump being elected the first person that were really celebrating for the Donald Trump election were the Maga people. They sing songs, they praised Donald Trump, and they expected for them progress and also the development of Donald Trump. They expected Donald Trump will really help them, but this time round things are boiling out because Donald Trump, he started deporting all the migrants, all the illegal immigrants, and Mexicans were among them. And also we saw this Donald Trump also deported Latinos, Asian, and so many things. And things are now very tough for the Maga people, because wherever Maga people wear a Maga hat or a Maga t-shirt, they face the instant karima. When they go anywhere wearing that Maga hat, they normally get the very harsh feedback from the Americans and also for the people who voted for the Democrats. And this time round, Mexico, most of the Americans normally go to Mexico for their vacation, but this time round things are boiling up because we have seen Mexico also introduces a visa for the Americans. So American must have a visa to be allowed to enter in Mexico. This is some of the new rules, some of policies are being put up by the Mexico authorities, because America, when you want to go America, you must have a visa. And this time also they have been, Mexico, they have also coming out and said a visa for the America. So they require to have a visa so that they can enter in Mexico. And this is some of the condition. I can say that this is just a revenge, because we saw some Mexican immigrant being deported by the Donald Trump and went back to Mexico. But this time round, things have been changed. Mexico also demanding a visa, and they are really deporting a lot of the Americans, immigrants. When you go to airport, most of the illegal American immigrants are being pushed back to the America. And this is for tourists. This is a lesson. This is a video for the tourists who are planning to go to Mexico, because I know Maga people, they really like wearing the Maga hats and the Maga t-shirt. They will not required to enter in Mexico, because United States have been fighting Mexico for so many times, and we have seen a lot of the protests towards the America, because America, they want to colonize Mexico. They want to use Mexico as a puppet to them. That's why now the president of the Mexico, he don't want to really cooperate with any this American government. She wants American out of Mexico, because these Mexicans, these Americans, they have been bullying these Mexicans for so many times. And when you are bullying somebody and you are going to his or her country, you must also face the consequences. And that's why the Mexicans, they have decided out to really also pushing back the Americans. And also they are pushing only for the Maga people, but they are not pushing at the Black people. If you really supported a Maga community, you are not allowed in Mexico. And also we have seen online the Mexicans coming out being racist, and this racist in United States, and this also has been also changed to the Mexico. Mexico is now very harsh, very tough towards these Maga people, because Maga people, they really celebrate, and we have seen these consequences going to the also the Maga farmers. Maga farmers also, they have been suffered a lot in hands of those Donald Trump administration. Donald Trump is not really doing well for the Maga people. He's not, because they expected protection, they expected goodies from this administration, but this administration it has turned to be a admission that is really, really hurting so many people. So many black people, they are being targeted. So many white people also, they are also all crying out. And we have seen some of the white people coming out and say that black people were very right and say that they regretted for not listening for the black folks. This is some of things that is really making these people to be here. So guys, I want you guys to comment in comment section. I want you to listen. I want you to comment how these situations are really, really happening in Mexico. I'm your host, Team Tessie Reaction. This video is for the educational purpose. Bye for now. See you in the next one.